add a little bit to that. So no matter what the outcome on Friday, and we all have a preference about what happens, you guys have the opportunity to make something even greater happen. Okay? The fact is, this university has never, to my knowledge, had a brown or browner face lead it. And that is the case for almost all of the historically white serving institutions in the UNC system. So as we look to and be very grateful and really very appreciative of what Chancellor Wood has done, this university could benefit from more brown and browner faces at the top. Period.
Coach, would you like to add some comments about big-time athletics?
I think that I'm confident that we can have big-time athletics here. We can have big-time athletics here at UNC. And it really starts at the top. The leadership has got to know that the academic component is the most essential part, okay? And as minorities, when we get an opportunity to lead, we've got to press that on the families when we go into the homes. We've got to press that on the kids once we get them on campus. And then we've got to have the courage to stand beside that. As long as the administration from the top is supporting us, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Because being a Tar Heel and having the chance to come to Carolina, it's really bigger than the individual. This thing is so much bigger than we are, okay? We're being picked at, we're taking shots because we're on the top. And anytime you find yourself at the top, it's always fun to take shots at those people, okay? Get used to it, okay? The university itself is one of the premier universities in the country. We're always going to be that, okay? Athletics are going to get better, and we're going to be one of the rare programs in the country. Get used to that. And when we stumble, be ready for it. They want to see us trip, they want to see us mess up, and it sells papers. Okay? It simply sells papers. And it's the same thing that's happened with the athletic department. It's been a terrific program, okay? But there was a stumble, and people are taking shots. It's part of being excellent. Anytime you stumble, people, the press, it sells papers, people advertise, and it's money driven. Okay? But as individuals, we've got to realize that we've got to be bigger than that. Okay? When we make hires, whether it's in academics or in athletics, we can't hire fans. Fans are people that cheer, and they'll do that extra, go above and beyond because they think it's in the best interest of the program. We've got to have people that have strong moral character and are willing to make difficult decisions. That's what being excellence is about. That's what being Tar Heel is about. That's what we've got to hold ourselves accountable to.
Michael made some really great comments about engaging in dialogue. I think my concern is that there isn't a dialogue taking place, it's a monologue that's coming from the media. And so I've been thinking about that quite a bit. We don't have, when I thought about, you know, even where Professor Hall's letter could go, where is our alternative to the DTH, to the NNO? And I think we have to start creating some alternatives on this campus. I mean, there can be blogs, there can be online type things. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money necessarily, but we can also get funding. But we need an alternative public sphere. We need some alternative voices out there talking about progressive issues, not just kind of rehashing negative things. I mean, I was appalled to see that the cover of the DTH said "Time to Go." I thought that was so disrespectful to the chancellor. But there is a slant to that particular publication. So I think, you know, I'm a fighter, and I think many of us are fighters, and now it's time to fight back and fight for our university, because I agree, yes, we're on top, but it doesn't have to stay that way. And I think there are people who are looking to really undermine not only UNC, but again, higher education, public higher education, and they keep saying it's elitist. Why does everyone have to go to college? Isn't it ironic that we have more diverse universities than ever, but now people are saying, oh, you don't have to go to college. Come work in Art Pope's dollar store. Come work at Rose's for $55 an hour, you know, whatever. But I think we have to keep that access and opportunity there, and we also need to start talking back, but we have to find ways to talk back.
To address your point about alternatives, I think there are several alternatives on this campus. Dr. Clayton, as soon as you said that, was black ink, black ink, black ink. We have the alternatives. We just have to make sure that we are using those in a resourceful manner. And then going to Dr. Boxell's point about unifying and standing up together, this is an election year. And I don't know how many know how much politics plays into this institution. But we are the flagship and we are a state-supported school. And so whenever you're talking about the budgets and who gets into what positions and who serves as chancellors, politics have a huge say in those things. And if you're not registered to vote, you need to get registered to vote and be an informed voter. Learn the positions of those who are running for office and put those who have your best interests in office. Hold them accountable and make sure that they are going to continue on encouraging young people to go to college and providing resources and ways for them to do so. So get out and vote this election year and stand up for what you actually believe in.
Any questions?
Some of this revolves around low expectations that faculty and staff have of men of color of any capacity on campus, but also particularly student athletes. Do you all have any suggestions or strategies that you've seen and other universities are doing to confront this issue of low expectations of minority men?
I can talk a little bit about our work because we do some work around low expectations. And inherent in your point was that we have internalized the low expectations as a community. So it's not just the other that has low expectations of us. Our experience is that those low expectations are so insidious and so ingrained that without specific, deliberate attempts to extricate those and to really weed those unconscious biases out, they stay. Okay? They stay in the form of, he looks a little tired, so I'm not going to answer his question very often. And he might be tired because he's working 40 hours just to stay at this university because he doesn't have the money he needs to be able to pay out right out. He can't go to his mom and get, $40,000 in car too. So there are lots of unconscious kinds of biases as well as explicit ones. The unconscious ones are the ones that I think are more pervasive than we even believe or know of. They're the little ones that happen, and they happen even within color. So we used to talk about the fact that the physical attribute of an athlete sometimes buys you all these wonderful exceptionalities. They think you're this, they think you're that, they think the other. And other times it buys you exceptional deficits. And so we have to figure out how we are actually accurately interpreting and reacting and interrelating with males of color on this campus. But it's hard. It doesn't happen because you say you're colorblind. It doesn't happen because you take one class. It doesn't happen because you're a female and you think you have a black brother who you love. It really takes work.
Questions?
I know when you mentioned, publication to rival their title, BSN, we do have Black English is, our magazine, our publication, but even, recent years, as recently as yesterday, we've had a lot of trouble with securing funding for the magazine, and, at this point, I'm not even sure we're gonna be able to print the magazine, like, in print for the rest of the year. We might have to, just have it online and, available on the internet only, so I feel like that's definitely gonna hurt us this year and the years, in the future. So, we do have a resource, but sometimes it is very limited to, whoever gets the link and, whoever sees the magazine outside of the union. So I know that's one thing we're definitely gonna work on in the future.
And online is not necessarily a bad thing, because so many publications are online now. We could reach alumni and,
Questions?
Debbie, I want to add a couple of things. One, as many of you know, as faculty chair, I've set a priority. One of my priorities this year is concerned with male minority retention because it begins with faculty. And that's